Hey everyone, my name is Angela. I'm a real estate agent here in the DFW area. I'm here with my baby and Miss Rachel. She's from My Texas Mortgage. So we're basically just going to go through the basics of mortgage.
Hey, Mortgage 101. It's like I teach the class. I've taught it for like 7 or 8 years, and it is truly the #1 class that realtors like to attend, and then clients actually ask, like, hey, I wish you taught a Mortgage 101 for clients. So I'm so happy to be here to kind of answer some of the basics today, and then this will be a series, so we'll probably get back together and do more stuff like this.
Yep. So it seems like everyone is always concerned about interest rates. Before we even get into interest rate, what makes up
interest rates? Yeah. So the thing about interest rates is we even have to dive deeper into that, like what actually makes up a mortgage. But if you really want to get to the nitty gritty of like what makes up the rate, it really does vary even between lenders, because lenders can only get paid in 2 ways: off the interest rate and off the fees that are charged with the interest rate. So I want you to think of the interest rate and the fees that go with an interest rate as kind of like siblings in a family. They kind of feed off of each other a little bit. But if you're talking about just the basics of interest rate, it is driven from everything from your loan to value, which is fed off of your down payment, to your credit scores, to the type of loan that you're doing. So there can be a massive range in what interest rates are. And so often people are like, I just want the lowest one. Well, sometimes the lowest rates don't even feed your need of what you're actually shooting for when buying a house. So that's one of the things that we'll actually look at before we even just start spitting out numbers, because so often people just spit out numbers.
Yeah, do you get that a lot? So what do you tell people when they ask you about what interest rates are right now?
This is the question that I wish I could get a nickel every time someone asks me it, because I would be a billionaire, but it's a huge range. Your interest rates, like we were talking about earlier, there's such a range in product that I actually had a mentor many years ago when I first started in the industry, because I used to get asked this all the time. I didn't quite know how to answer it. And he used to say, it'll tell them the truth. Interest rates right now can range from 4% to 10% depending on the loan type. They're asking you a question that it's really difficult to answer, because the follow-up question as a loan officer is, well, how much are you putting down? What does your credit score look like? What type of loan are we talking about? Do you want to do interest only? Is it a jumbo loan? So that really truly is the answer. Until we start kind of whittling down their need and the type of loan that fits with them, it's really hard to give someone like a finite, well, interest rates are 6% right now. Well, are they? In certain products, they're definitely not. So it's really hard to answer that question, but most of the time when I'm asked that question, it's by someone who they just want the best deal for themselves, and they don't always know how to ask the right questions, and that's the easiest question to ask, but it's okay to ask it, because that's how we build on the knowledge base.
Hey. All right, so this is Rachel. So for first-time home buyers, I do get a lot of, my people that are starting families, they're first-time home buyers. They want a good deal. What are your recommendations for them?
My #1 thing would probably be timing. And I think that that's probably not something that you hear from a lot of people. Usually you'll get a laundry list of pay down your credit cards and do all of these things.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that until you talk to your loan officer, because I'm going to help you build a plan. And if I can start 6 months out, that's great, because I have enough time to, if we need to change something, if we need to save, if we need to adjust credit, I have plenty of time to do that. But if you give me 30 days, I'm a little more under the gun. So if I have time, it helps me build out a plan for them. I'm not gonna run your credit a million times. Sometimes I won't even have you apply 6 months out, but at least start the conversation. It puts it front of mind so that we're aware of how to build the best deal for you, because there are first-time homebuyer programs that are part of the loan itself. There are first-time homebuyer programs that are second liens on top of it, but there's so many different kinds. It helps me build out the right plan for you, which makes purchasing the home a lot easier in a few months.
Yeah. So for first-time home buyers, I hope that you don't ever feel lost, because when, for example, with me, like when I first began, I didn't know where I stood. I didn't know that I need to go reach out to a lender first. All I looked was Credit Karma. So don't ever trust on Credit Karma, because that's different.
Credit Karma is actually a super common question that we get, if I want to touch on it really fast. So whenever people are looking at their Credit Karma, the first thing I want to say is thank you for taking care of your credit and checking up on it. But Credit Karma is we can do a whole kind of Q&A just on credit. But just know that Credit Karma is seeing if you qualify for a credit card of about $5,000. $2,000 to $5,000 is usually the scale that they're using. When I'm running your credit, or any bank or credit union, we all use the same scoring model, and that's actually going to see, can you afford $1 million home? It's the same scoring model if you're buying a $100,000 house or if you're buying like a mansion. So the scoring model is a little tougher. And like I said, we could do a whole breakdown on credit. But I'm glad that you're checking your Credit Karma. I'm glad that you're taking care of your credit. But sometimes when I look at your credit, I see something, because I pull credit every day, that you may miss. And that's where, if we have a few months in advance that I can take a look at it, it helps build a really great plan so that you feel prepared and a little less anxious when you're about to make one of the biggest purchases of your whole life.
Well, that wraps up basically the basics of what you guys need to know if you are planning to buy a house within the next 3 to 6 months, or even a year.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. This has been really, really great.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course, this has been awesome. And this little one too, hi. But yeah, it's been pretty great. If you want to follow me, I am My Texas Mortgage, and I will be linked in the bio or in the caption. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So for me, my Instagram handle is Angela Sells Dallas, and you can give me a call or follow me with my information below, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.